Hello and welcome to this presentation about the NetIQ, Office 365 and Azure solutions. In this presentation I will show you in the way that the NetIQ solutions help enhance the account administration functionality that's offered by the default Microsoft solution. First of all, we see a growing adoption of Office 365 in the market, which is in line with the growing adoption of more cloud applications that we see. This, of course, is due to the license model that fits a lot of organizations and also the lower amount of system administration needed and the higher flexibility that it offers. However, the Office 365 solution also offers great benefits for the end users, like access from anywhere, and which leads to a greater productivity, but also it's not a big change in the way of working that they're used to, since they still are using the Office applications. One relevant question that you need to ask yourself, however, during such a migration is how you're going to integrate the account management and authentication for Office 365 with your on-premise environment. You might have one or multiple Active Directories. You might have your own password administration tool. So how are you going to integrate that, both from an endpoint perspective as well as a security perspective? The default answer from Microsoft is to use DirSync for provisioning and the Active Directory Federation services for authentication. This is a good solution that's depicted in this next picture, which offers the functionality as you would expect. So with those two tools in place, an end user who needs to go to Office 365 has the ability to log in through a federative construction and use their username and password from the enterprise to gain access to the Office 365 cloud applications. For this to work, the user account already has to exist within Office 365 with the correct licenses, and the provisioning of the account is something that's handled by the DirSync tool. So DirSync enables the synchronization of user accounts and passwords from an on-prem directory to the Office 365 cloud. Many of our customers, however, state that they do see some possible challenges with these solutions. And there's a whole range of different types of challenges they see, which we will discuss now. First of all, a lot of customers already have multiple cloud applications in use. They might not use ADFS for that. They might have nothing in place or have another solution which handles the authentication and the provisioning of accounts. Whether ADFS is able to handle authentication depends on that cloud application. DirSync, however, can only work to Office 365, so will not be able to synchronize identities to those other cloud applications. Furthermore, a lot of our customers have internal web applications, or they work together with partner organizations that have web applications that also need single sign-on and need to be safely usable from the outside. And it's a question whether ADFS is able to do this. If these applications do not support federation as a single sign-on protocol, then ADFS does not have an option to handle those applications. So you need different methods for that. Another side of the problem relates to the DirSync tool. Like I said, it's not able to synchronize accounts to other applications in the cloud, but it also connects to a single Active Directory within your enterprise. We see a lot of customers that have multiple Active Directories and even other systems as well. So multiple Active Directories is something we see often at larger organizations, which might have different sister companies or departments that for security or other reasons decided to set up a separate Active Directory. But we also see a lot of customers who have different LDAP directories, for instance, for their students or external employees, or maybe citizens or patients. And what we often see is that partners or customers are documented in a separate database altogether. Yet all these identity stores might need access to the Office 365, specifically for sharing documents with your students, your patients, your partners. It is relevant that they have an account in the Office 365 environment. Now, DirSync isn't able to do that from just any LDAP or database. Furthermore, many of our customers have already handled the internal system to make use of an identity management environment, which gives them a central identity store where they can manage the life cycle of identities and which enables them to synchronize accounts, rights and roles to all these different systems. If this is your situation, then the DirSync tool connecting to one of the background Active Directories is not the correct solution. So you want something that directly integrates with your IDM environment. So these are some of the main problems that we hear from our customers. Another challenge lies in the additional complexity, which mostly relates to the ADFS environment. Now in this picture it's just one item, but in practice, if you look at the reference architecture, you end up with a more complex setup, which consists of several servers within your internal network and several proxy servers in your DMZ. Together with the firewall configurations, this can be a complex infrastructure that you need to set up just to handle the Office 365 authentication. So, luckily Microsoft supports many third-party vendors and allows them to provide single sign-on and enhanced application access for these cloud solutions, Office 365 and the online services. This means that there are solutions to replace the DirSync and the ADFS and that these tools are not required. The list of supported vendors can be seen here, the URL. And of course, NetIQ is on that list. So the solutions that we offer is twofold. The first one aims at the account management part. So we offer a real-time provisioning and deprovisioning to Office 365, but also other cloud applications from multiple identity sources. And we do this in a very granular way, which means that based on your configuration and your settings, only certain identities will be synchronized to the Office 365 or other cloud applications with the right licenses. And that's important. The Office 365 license management is included in our solution. With DirSync, only the accounts are synchronized and you still need to assign licenses from the Office 365 management portal. With our solution, we can integrate this with your current role model or your request and approval system. So you can imagine that somebody will request a role. After a manager approval, the role will be assigned, and that role will assign the right account and licenses within the Office 365 environment. And this enables an integration of Office 365 in your overall lifecycle management. The second part aims at the access or the authentication solution. And we offer single sign-on for not only Office 365, but all cloud applications. And very important also the internal web applications that might not support and very often don't support the federative protocols. So you end up with a single sign-on solution. This solution also supports multiple account stores. We support risk-based authentication, which means that based on the context of the identity at the moment of logon, we decide whether access will be granted or not, or that maybe a strong authentication is required, a step-up authentication. And for this we support a wide range of strong authentication methods. Finally, this solution comes in a single box soft appliance, which means that it's an easy infrastructure that you can place only in your DMZ, and if required contains internal clustering support, so you can extend to multiple machines for failover or performance reasons, keeping the infrastructure simple. If we show this in the picture that we already drew, we see the Microsoft solution, and first we're going to replace the ADFS with the NetIQ Access Management solution. And this enables, within this same diagram, the single sign-on to other cloud applications, internal web applications, but also web applications from your partners, and will offer single sign-on to the end user. The second part then is the DirSync, which we can replace by our IDM solution, which enables a synchronization of accounts, again, not only to Office 365, but also other cloud applications and all your internal applications as well. So we end up with basically the same picture, and it's just enhanced on both on the cloud as on the internal infrastructure side. And this is the solution that we can offer. Now, to get an idea from the end user how this all looks, we've recorded several demos of this solution. The first one aims specifically at Office 365 and shows you single sign-on on the desktop and an iPad. And we have some other videos related to SharePoint single sign-on, which in this case is an on-prem SharePoint install, but uses the same functionality with the access management and identity management to handle single sign-on using federation. This concludes our presentation on the enhanced account management functionality that NetIQ can offer for your Office 365 environment. Thank you for your attention.